I've been getting a lot of really great questions and I just love answering them. But while I'm answering these this time, if my stomach growls, pardon me because I'm really hungry, so I'll get my snacks afterwards. They'll be healthy ones. Okay, so the first one is, I admire your lifestyle. However, is not the gospel of Jesus to go out into the world and call the lost to repentance by sharing the good news? Okay, so that is a really great question. I keep saying great question. I can't say my R's. Okay. Our communities often talk about exactly this question. And we're looking for more ways that we can go out more into the world and do it. We have quite a few smaller communities and cities that are trying to do just that. Like I have friends that live in Crossroads in Minneapolis, and there's a lot of others. You can go look on the Bruderhof website or on Bruderhof Facebook to find out more about that. And actually that's one of the reasons why I am making videos, to hopefully encourage people and spread the good news. So I believe that's definitely a big part of the gospel. But ultimately, I think that there are a lot of people out there talking about the gospel. But we believe that trying to live out the gospel here is another way to share the good news. Personally, the main calling I feel is to live out Jesus' radical teachings, especially the Sermon on the Mount. And I believe if I do that faithfully, it's a witness or a light on the hill, as Jesus says. And that is just as evangelical, meaning proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, as other forms of evangelism. So I hope that answers your question. Oops. Sorry, my phone just timed out. I have it on a short timer to save energy. Okay, next one. How do you differ from the Amish? So we share many of the same Anabaptist roots, and I would maybe describe our relationship to the Amish as spiritual cousins or maybe spiritual second cousins. But that's about where the similarity stops. My grandfather joined the Bruderhof back in the 1950s from a Hutterite community, which is an Anabaptist communitarian movement that started in the early 16th century and exists to this day. We have technology, drive cars, wear belt buckles. Apparently that's a thing. We do drive horse carts. I don't because I never got into horses that much. It's probably because once I got bucked off a horse. Okay, but I won't tell that story right now. But it's just a hobby for some families, and sometimes people just do it for fun with the kids, with their kids. But I do have, back to the Amish, I do have a lot of respect for them. But I guess I wouldn't be making these videos if I was one. So next question is, do you have personal internet and is it filtered by the ministry? Okay, this isn't Hogwarts, so I don't know about ministry, whatever. But as far as I know, each person here who wants or needs it has plentiful internet access. But like any school or organization, there are content filters, which also helps protect against malware and viruses, and also content that's not wholesome, because I think we all can agree the internet has a lot of unwholesome material. I think there's such a thing as too much internet, and it makes a lot of people crazy. You got to know when to switch it off and go look at the stars or throw a line in the water. So for what it's worth. Next question is, what if you have pets? Are you allowed to bring a cat or a dog with you? Absolutely. There are a ton of pets, although we don't have one at the moment. Maybe when the boys are a little older, we might get a dog. Chris wants to get a pit. I'm scared of pit bulls. I'm sorry. I'm scared of them. But the dog that we will get will be a short-haired, because I don't like cleaning up after a long-haired dog. Okay, but back to the question. When I was a kid, an older Vietnam vet who joined, he was our next door neighbor, and he brought his cat with him. And he loved his pet so much that he left on the lights and the radio, playing day and night, so that his cat, Indiana, wouldn't get lonely. Also, now that I think about it, there are 3 dogs that live right in our apartment complex. Libby, Prima, and Gunner. And they race around together, and it's amazing. But I am not sure what would happen if the Tiger King came to the Bruderhof. We'd have to see, what would he do with those big tigers? I have no idea. Okay, so the next question is, Do women have the choice to wear what men wear? I don't see why women would not be able to wear the exact same work pants, button-up shirts, t-shirts, etc. As a woman who doesn't wear skirts or dresses, I have a hard time seeing the reason for them. I love the simplicity and spiritual way of this life and community, but I can't get over the dress thing, LOL. I would love to hear your thoughts, thank you. It's actually a really great question. I totally understand how, if you're used to wearing trousers, I spent some time in England where I learned the hard way that pants means you wear what you wear underneath. So I'm not going to embarrass myself again. Thank you. But I understand that if you're not used to wearing skirts, it can seem pretty onerous. I personally wear shorts or running pants, trousers, when I'm exercising because I prefer not to trip and hurt myself. And I obviously don't wear a skirt when I'm swimming. But otherwise, I find wearing skirts to be comfortable and practical. The reason for wearing them is simplicity and modesty, which I think is very important. But I believe you can dress simply and modestly in other ways as well. So I don't have super strong feelings, but this is the way women on the Bruderhof have dressed for a really long time, and it works pretty well on the whole. So I am happy with it. And that is all I have for questions today, so don't forget to keep asking more.